country are so confused when they see people that look different. And of course, I may have features that look a little different because my mother is white, right? So it's not that hard to look like your mom.
No, of course.
And I think where I've come down on it is it's really nobody's business.
100%.
And I think I get to determine my identity. But I still think because of the founding of this country and because of the otherizing of people like myself, it's still going to always be an issue. I mean, I wrote a whole book about it, right? That is what my memoir in large part was about. It's just fascinating to me that people, rather than ask you so many more important questions, the question is, what are you?
Excuse me. Excuse me, y'all. I'm sick.
She keeps saying it's nobody's business, but she won't stop talking about it. Nobody cares. We're in 2024. Everybody knows that you're mixed.
These black men that he was speaking with, I'd love to see them. It would be like looking at unicorns. I thought it was interesting that the framing was a room of black Republicans. Where are they? Where are they? Because if you look at the stats, 81% of black men are part of the Democratic Party. Black voters consistently align with the Democratic Party. Over 95% of black women are part of the Democratic Party. So these black men that he was speaking with, I'd love to see them. It would be like looking at unicorns. And so I think that the sad thing is, I agree with you, Anna, is that this came from the mouth of a black man, right? And so if you're pandering yourself and your community and your history to a man like Donald Trump, who is a disgraced, one-term, twice impeached, convicted felon, we get to say now, is even more despicable. It did start, as Whoopi said, in the industry at a time when few people of color were on TV and in movies. And early...
Everybody's a people of color.
Yes. Well...
Sunny Hostin has a habit of making controversial comments, especially when it comes to the black community. Time after time, she says things on live TV that spark backlash, and she often ends up being called out in ways that are hard to ignore. But instead of reflecting or learning from it, she keeps going, showing that she might not fully understand the impact of her words.
Revelations about my family history. I was really reluctant. I don't know how you felt when you did it, Whoopi, but I was really reluctant to do it because I just sensed that there could be something in my family history that would be disappointing. And they actually originate from Spain. And the reason that they moved to Puerto Rico is because the slave trade had been sort of canceled in Spain and then Curacao, and then they moved all of their slaves to Puerto Rico. And so the family business, I had been told that they were printers and journalists, but they were in fact enslavers. And my mother...
So, a hush fell over the audience.
And it's deeply disappointing because my mother really identified as Puerto Rican. She was deeply ingrained in black culture and identified herself as black for race. But I sort of knew that this was my history, and that's probably why I didn't want to do it. And I spoke to my mom about it. She was deeply disappointed. She actually cried about it. And then she said, maybe that's why I have been so connected to black culture, because it's an atonement in my spirit. And I received that. I also found out that, and there were slaves on both sides of our family, mothers and fathers, but we are 7% indigenous Puerto Rican.
I don't give a damn. People don't care how you look, Sunny. Okay, whatever you look like, you look like. Many people look like their mom, their dad, their grandparents, aunts, uncles, whatever. She wants people to focus on who's your mom? Is your mom white or whatever she said. That's number one. Number two, I think, and I stopped long ago, okay? I stopped saying that there were many races when I learned that there really is only one human race. 99.999% of our DNA is the same. It may be different combinations of the chromosomes and things like that, but it is the same. So there's only one human race.
It's starting to feel like Sunny Hostin stirs up drama just for the attention, only to end up embarrassing herself time and time again. But this time, she chose the wrong person to challenge. Hollywood icon Billy D. Williams, the legendary actor who's been through it all, was invited on The View to talk about his incredible career. Instead of simply celebrating his achievements, Sunny steered the conversation into one of her usual race-focused debates. What happened next? Let's just say it didn't go well for her. Before we dive in, if you enjoy our videos, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. It's free for you, but it means everything to us.
I am just so honored to meet you. I will be honest, I'm just looking at Lando Calrissian in my mind, and Lady Sings the Blues and Mahogany, and just, right? That's all I mean, just incredible. So you did start, as Whoopi said, in the industry at a time when few people of color were on TV and in movies, and early...
Everybody's people of color.
Yes, well, a black man.
Well, a brown-skinned man?
Brown-skinned man. And early on, you struggled to find work, being offered either stereotypical roles or nothing at all. Did you ever think about quitting? And if you didn't, what kept you going?
Well, I don't know. You know, you just live from moment to moment and do what you have to do and expect things to not always go.
From the moment Billy D. Williams walked onto The View, you could tell the hosts were charmed. He's got that timeless, classic charisma that's hard to ignore. But even that didn't stop the conversation from taking a familiar turn. As usual, the show couldn't resist steering things toward identity and grievance, with Sunny Hostin leading the way. At first, she praised Williams, but within seconds, she tried to pull him into her usual race-driven narrative, clearly expecting him to echo the typical "the industry was so unfair" line. But Billy D wasn't having it. Instead of going along with it, he pushed back with a calm, powerful response that left Sunny visibly thrown off. Everybody's a person of color. That one line flipped the whole conversation. The audience reacted instantly, and social media lit up. People were asking, wait, does Billy D. Williams not identify as black? Others were just confused or frustrated, but what really happened is this: he didn't let the show box him into a label or a script he didn't believe in. When that angle didn't work, the host tried shifting the focus to his film Brian's Song, twisting it into some commentary on masculinity, but by then, the damage was done. Billy D had already made his point, and in doing so, he exposed what The View often falls back on: identity politics and victim narratives. As for Sunny, she once again showed she's not great at reading the room or knowing when to let it go.
I think it was a movie before its time, in that it gave a lot of men everywhere permission to feel some of those things they didn't always get that, it wasn't always allowed.
Well, I was a follower of Carl Jung.
Oh, yes.
And
I dated him.
And he coined the phrase anima animus.
Yes.
And anima being the female counterpart of the male self, and the animus the male counterpart of the female self.
Yeah.
And I always, in fact, I was talking about it, and what was that phrase, the gender phrase, what do you call it?
Oh, toxic masculinity?
No.
Okay.
It's
Binary fluidity, gender fluid.
gender fluid.
Yeah.
Gender fluid.
Yeah, and my daughter got very excited about that.
Did she?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because she's a liberal.
Oh, I see.
Those damn liberals!
Sunny Hostin just can't help herself. Anytime a serious conversation starts, she jumps in with the same predictable, woke buzzwords. It's like she's stuck on repeat. When Billy D. Williams brought up Brian's Song, she immediately threw out the phrase toxic masculinity as if she was programmed to say it. But Williams, cool, composed, and classy as ever, he tried to talk about how the media twisted his past comments about Lando Calrissian turning a simple statement into a bizarre narrative that he was gender fluid or interested in men. Instead of hearing him out, Sunny and the rest of the panel hijacked the moment to push their usual agenda, and the contrast was glaring. On one side, you have Sunny Hostin privileged, out of touch, constantly complaining about oppression she's never truly faced. On the other, Billy D. Williams, a real Hollywood legend who's been through it all, but still stands for hard work, family, and personal responsibility. One commands respect, the other, not so much. Was Billy D. making a deeper point when he said, "We're all people of color," or was this just another example of The View twisting reality to fit their narrative? That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed the breakdown, hit that like button and subscribe, it's free, and it really helps us out. And let us know in the comments, what's your take on Sunny Hostin's remarks? Let's talk.